闇を先と思った激光が少女たちの渇望を照らす
Hello and welcome to this special discussion on the summer 2018 anime Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. I am your host, Jack Johnson of Under the Scope, and with me are four lovely guests and fellow Starlight superfans. Why don't you all introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do? Johnny, why don't you start?
I thought you said we were doing this alphabetically. Doesn't Isla come before my name? Like,
No, it's not.
I told you this would make it more complicated. I don't know why we're out here. See, we could have done this simply, but you had to make it hard. You can follow me at Subtitled Anime.
We already know you couldn't spell, so of course you can't place letters in the alphabet either.
You know how hard this is?
That's absolutely amazing.
This explains so much.
You think this is a bit?
The reason he's not an English major.
Well, this has been a great start.
This has been the start that we wanted and one that you should have expected. I'm Giancarlo Navas of Subtitled Anime. You can find me at Subtitled Anime on Twitter. Find me on YouTube. There will be plenty of Hibike Euphonium, Kumire, and Revue Starlight coming soon.
My name is Isla McTear. You can find me at Isla McTear on YouTube, and I like to make big emotional reviews about anime. So yeah, you can find me talking about that.
You go first. It's alphabetical.
You see?
But
You
Jack,
see?
J is after I. I didn't know if Jack wanted to introduce himself too.
Obviously, the host always goes last. Honey.
I told y'all this was complicated.
Go.
It's me, the Pedantic Romantic. I think I do YouTube.
Is that it?
I think so.
Okay. I'm Zeria, the resident goddess of Yiddy. AniTube's only explicit Marxist. At your favorite.
All right, so I just want to point out, by the way, that we're scattered across, 6 time zones?
Yeah.
Well, there's only 5 of us, so that would be tricky. But
Well, I mean, if you take the furthest west
the range,
person
yes.
and the furthest east person. Except for you two, you're literally 3 feet from each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
less than that, frankly.
Yeah.
Less than a foot, frankly.
We're my arm is 2 inches from your hand.
Okay, so, Revue Starlight. The way we're going to do this is we're first going to have a brief non-spoiler discussion on our overall impressions of the series, why we love it, why you will too, without giving anything away. And then after that, we're going to open it up so anything goes. If you haven't seen the show yet, you should probably hold off on listening to that because I imagine we're going to get into lots of spoilers.
Yeah.
So come back once you have seen it. Also, I posted a prompt on Twitter asking for questions, so we'll get to those at the end. Everyone understand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. How did no one else do that?
I did
I
it!
know, oh my god, we messed it.
Nobody heard me, but I did it.
I was hoping somebody would. I'm totally going to insert wakarimasu every time one of us says something profound.
Plus.
This is going to be great. All right, so who wants to lead it off? What is it about Revue Starlight that makes you love it?
It's gay.
Yeah.
It's hella gay.
It's exceedingly gay.
Yeah.
In part because it's wrapped up in the whole Takarazuka theater tradition, which if you haven't checked out any Takarazuka performances, I would definitely recommend that. Elizabeth is available with English subs. I think it's on YouTube.
It's an unlisted video, but it's available.
Yeah.
Its star,
Asumidio.
Asumidio is so hot. She is so hot. And you look up Asumidio,
Do it right now.
listeners, please. She's so hot. That's it. That's
We like Revue Starlight because Asumidio is hot. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
I think end of podcast right there.
No, okay. All of you fellow podcasters must look up Asumidio right now.
I'll link some choice images in the call chat.
You're asking me to spell? How do you spell that? Help.
Asumirio.
Thank you.
Alright, Asumidio.
This is a segment we like to call Google It.
There we go. This one. Is it letting? Ooh, powerful.
Oh my gosh, she has a powerful face. Like an actual
Powerful woman.
Strong.
Strong features, man.
Yeah, this is why we love the show. Cause introduce me to Asumidio.
Powerful.
Amazing.
Her death. Show a picture of her death. That's
her
what we
death.
actually saw. Yeah, that's her death.
No. Oh no. Stop. Pinterest, please.
What?
Everyone listening to this can look her up
Engaging audio content.
I'm telling you, dude.
ooh,
the segment called Google It.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, those are strong images. Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. What a queen.
Absolutely. She is top star.
She's
Absolutely.
so good. Anyways, Revue Starlight's based on. That's not her.
I don't know.
That's
Is it the other
a
cheeky
different.
boy?
No, it's still Death. It's from a different
It's
performance.
2014.
Yeah, but that's not her. Anyways,
Why don't we read
Revue
a
Starlight's
plot
based on the
summary here?
Takarazuka Revue, which is gay as shit and has hot women. And therefore, we like it.
And if you like gay things, you'll probably like Starlight.
Takarazuka is lesbian culture.
Unironically.
Something I loved about Starlight was how ambitious it was in its ideas and its projection of these ideas and how ambitious it was as a project. I know we'll probably get later into the production of it further in the podcast, but as a production and direction, and I know the director he worked on Penguin Drum. Zeria, I know you could probably help me out on the name here.
Tomohiro
Tomohiro
Furukawa.
Furukawa.
Thank you. Yeah, him. He's good.
Perhaps the strongest of Ikuhara's proteges.
What about Shoko Nakamura?
Only rivaled by Shoko Nakamura. Please allow me to speak, woman.
Hit him with the
This is why we have Zeria on this podcast. Our resident encyclopedia for all things Takarazuka and Ikuhara.
Encyclopedia for certain topics, but yes, certainly for
for
reviews.
Fate.
For Fate,
Or Natsuverse, Nanoha. Yeah.
Ikuhara. There we go.
What else do you need?
For me, I've got like a real personal relationship with Starlight because I come from the theatre. Like that's my background as acting and theatre and that whole thing. So like as soon as I saw this was airing, I was like, okay, well that sounds interesting. And then you watch it and it just feels like there's certain characters in the show that just kind of transport me back to acting again. So it's really for me it's super personal because there's so, like certain characters like Nana and Hikari and stuff like that. They remind me of how I was and stuff. So it's kind of special to me in that way.
I saw a lot of people talk about that. I know that Emily ran her
Yeah.
blogs. If anybody was reading her, she was
Yes.
incredible. Yeah,
Her
so
posts are
check
so good.
at AJ the Fourth. Check her out. She was writing a little thing after every Starlight episode, and that was like appointment for me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who involved in theater really express kind of what Issa was saying, how like deep a connection it is to kind of like
Yeah.
euphonium and band a bit. You know how like people that
Yeah.
have done band,
Yeah.
have
That's-
such a connection to it.
That's totally what Starlight is for me because it just takes me back there. Like every single week, I was like, wow, that's just because of all the symbolism and kind of surrealism about it. I was like, wow, this just takes me back to being in theatre, and I just love that. I think it's really cool. It's been in my mind, I think it's not the only show about theatre, but it's the first one in a long time that I can think of that's set on the stage. Ish, yeah, ish maybe.
Ish.
ish.
Basically everything you guys said. I actually came onto the show pretty late in the game. Were all
You
four of you
did.
watching
You did
it
come in really late.
weekly?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I came in super late because anyone who's familiar with me should know that I'm terrible at watching anime. And I didn't watch any summer shows until I started Revue, and that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was up to episode 10 at that point, and then I think I watched like all 10 episodes that were out in 3 days, and was hooked at that point. Yeah, so Takarazuka's been something that I've also been interested in, and have wanted to do more and more research into. And so when I saw that there was a show coming out that was inspired by it, I was instantly hooked and like saying, okay, this is something I have to check out. And then couple that with my love of all things Ikuhara and its definite like Utena vibes at points, and yeah, it was a match made in heaven from the start for me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I actually felt that the series was way more Penguin Drum, and I know we mentioned that it shares a director, but like those vibes and the way it told a narrative really jumped out as very Penguin Drummy.
No, I definitely thought it was most Penguin Drum connected among
stylistically.
Yes.
like
I would
even
agree for sure. The
transformation
Utena
sequence.
connections
Although I
are a
would-
little more surface
I
level.
would closer
like,
compare
with
it
the duels and
to
stuff.
another Ikuhara protege. Don't talk about it yet. We're not talking about it. That's a question that we'll get to later. I'm just saying there's another Ikuhara protege, perhaps his other most talented one, whose series in many ways strikes me as similar to
Is
Starlight.
he like full protege, or is he like more of a peer / protege?
He,
though?
I mean, I'd say he was a protege. He definitely learned under Ikuhara during Sailor Moon.
No one knows who. Well, some people know who we're talking about, but few know who we're talking about because you want to save it for a fucking twist. But yes, just know that this person definitely is a protege of Ikuhara, whoever he is.
Not that it's an Ikuhara word, but did anybody feel a little Kyoso Giga from this show?
Not none, but I think that's part of because Rie Matsumoto is, while not an Ikuhara protege, an Ikuhara protege's protege.
Yeah.
There was one definite spot I got a Kyoso Giga vibe, and that was in the first episode when Karen has that like dream vision whatever on top of Tokyo Tower, and there was like a couple shots there that like distinctly reminded me.
Rie
some of the stuff in
Matsumoto
Kyoso Giga.
learned under Mamoru Hosoda, who learned under Ikuhara. In fact, from what I remember, Hosoda storyboarded the final episode of Utena. Yeah.
Look at you. Flex on him. To get back to the subject of the authenticity to the stage
Did you hear that
acting
sound?
experience. Nope. I think that's probably in part because the franchise was created by, was it a trio of women who are all stage actresses or directors and stuff, so they've got that experience with the subject.
Yeah,
There's definitely
it really kind of brought it home though. It does totally feel like you're back in the theater coming from that background, which is what's really special about it. Because you can, if that's true, you can definitely feel that it comes from people who know about theater. Like you can just see, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, that's not something you can fake, right?
No, not at all, not at all. And it's something that, like, you know, it's clearly been made by people who do know the theater, even if like they've gone to see the theater or whatever. But it's definitely from people who know the backstage of it, because there is such intricacies to it, and they capture all of it, including even like the scenes outside the reviews and stuff. So like all the scenes where they're dancing and they're training to like go into obviously the reviews and all that kind of thing. So all of that feels very much like practicing when I was practicing to go on stage and to go on shows, and it's the intensity between the characters as well, and how much they want to be the top star, and all. I might be into spoiler territory, I'm not sure, but like you know, that kind of stuff. Like it feels very real, which I loved. I thought that was amazing.
You know, I just thought we should probably explain what Revue Starlight is in the first place to
Okay.
people who
Yeah.
haven't watched it before.
Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight is a 2018 media mix 2017 technically, created by Bushiroad. It has a few primary forms. It's got a stage play with associated music, and in musical form. It has an anime, 3 manga, a 4-coma, an adaptation of the musical, and a prologue to the anime. It has a mobile game coming in October, Revue Starlight Relive, with the main girls from Seisho Music Academy and 3 other schools competing in a RPG-esque system. It's based on the Takarazuka Revue, a 114-year-old, or 104, not 14, 104-year-old musical troupe in Japan that stars all women. Specifically, these women will don, half of the women roughly will don male roles in roles called otokoyaku, while the others will play women, musumeyaku. They are known for being closely tied to lesbianism in Japan, especially the Class S period, wherein they were
By all means, keep going.
Oh my god, your knowledge is incredible.
wherein they were often blamed for such things as girls becoming lesbians, and not just soft, like vaguely romantic friendshipy lesbians, but lesbians who continued to date past graduating school, and also lesbians who killed themselves. There were a lot of double suicides, especially after one notable double suicide attempt with a musumeyaku and a fan of hers who put on a more butch look. Anyways, that's Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight.
In a nutshell.
Oh, the plot.
The actual show.
It stars girls who want to become the top star, roughly. the top star, it is worth pointing out, is in the Takarazuka Review the highest ranking otokoyaku in any given troop. There are 6 troops, 5 regular troops, and the 6th superior troop, which is for older members of the review who go on to that and after they don't want to retire from the main 5. It is notable that the top star can only be attained by an otokoyaku. The top star always has a top musumeyaku as her pair, but she is not the top star at any point. Becoming an otokoyaku is to some degree based on preference, but is also based on natural traits that you can't have much influence over, such as height, depth of voice, and other features. What else is there to say? Oh, yes. The main character is Aijo Karen, a relatively shitty actress who is suddenly thrust into a bizarre world of fights after the re-arrival of her childhood friend, Hikari.
There you go.
There you go.
10 out of 10.
That was really impressive.
わかります。
I did have this handy dandy plot summary pulled up, but I don't
Oh,
even know if it's necessary.
who needs that when Zeria can have a 10-minute monologue instead?
I mean, would you have wanted to miss out on my knowledge?
I'll just add that part of it is, in addition to Karen and Hikari's arc, there's also just the 99th Starlight Troop is performing the play Starlight, and the biggest thing about the story is how their interactions and feelings towards that commingle and such. So, but Zeria explained it way better than I think any of us could have. So,
I'm sorry.
no, do not apologize by all means. All right, so does anybody have anything else they want to add in the non-spoiler section before we open it up?
Watch it. Just go watch it.
Yes.
Just watch it.
The ships are so good.
Oh, the
Yeah,
ships are so
great.
good.
Oh,
ships are
the
great.
ships are so good.
Good ships, good action.
I can't wait till you buy those keychains, Gianni.
They're on the
They're
way.
shipping from. They start shipping.
Oh, they're shipping now? Sick.
Yes.
Good action, good ships, good symbolism.
Kuromaya.
And a
Good
great
music.
coming
Good
together
music.
of talent.
Nothing not to love. Watch the show.
Good show. Okay.
Something I do want to comment on really quick is like the production of the show, and I know we might get into it later, but how it kind of became an international production.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, like because they would actively recruit animators on Twitter, and I thought that was kind of a cool way to make it a global spectacle of
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so and it kind of reminded me of that scene from Shirobako where she's going around asking for keyframes.
Yo, don't give me a chance to talk about Shirobako if you want to stay on topic.
That's her stuff.
One of those animators who came to help out followed me on Twitter, and then he liked when I tweeted out one of my episode reactions for the show.
So
that was
we're
really
acknowledged by the staff of the show.
One of the people who made the show acknowledged the fact that I made a reaction to the show.
You made that we
yes,
made a
yes,
reaction
yes.
to the show. Do not deprive your poor wife of her.
Due credit.
Yes.
Does that mean you've made it? I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got, without saying too much, I just got
yeah.
I got an interview with a very interesting creator. So
Oh, look at you.
yeah. Can't wait for that video to come out.
J. Michael Tatum follows me,
Ooh, sick.
so I can't be trashed on the timeline.
Yeah, I always the problem whenever somebody that you look up to follows you though is then you have the dread of
your
knowing
best
what
behavior.
shit post is going to be
Oh,
the one
yeah.
that
Yeah,
hits
it's a good
the
thing I only
unfollow.
shit post on Discord and on Twitter.
You can only keep little shit posting to a small amount, and then as soon as it's a week or something, a couple of days have passed by, then you're back to your normal shit posting. Doesn't matter that they follow you anymore. Doesn't matter. Just keep going.
In my case, it's how many UFO retweets are they going to withstand before they decide they
Yeah.
can't have any more of this.
I'm really bad, and especially with Starlight, because all the fan art, it's so good.
Oh God, the
There's so
fan
much
art
good
is
fan art.
so good.
Thank you, Korean Fujoshi.
It's mostly Korean Fujoshi who are doing the best fan art.
All the Kuromaya fan art, it gives me life. I'm
Oh my god, the
obsessed with
Starlight
it.
fan art is incredible.
Like I can't. I'm a retweet bot.
So good.
That's all I do. I retweet all I'm an official retweet Starlight bot.
Yeah.
It's like that Korean UFO bot account, that tweets all the good euphonium fan art and scenes. Like that's my new favorite account, kind of like the
Look, I thought, okay, Gianni, how many times can you mention UFO? And how many times do you think you can mention UFO without me going off on UFO?
This is my
I think
brand.
we need a UFO ban. I think we need a UFO ban. Like, just for this
okay,
podcast.
fine,
Just
deal.
that's it. No mention of UFO. No mention
Deal.
of UFO.
It'll be hard, but I'll try.
To be fair, I also mentioned it, so don't worry, we're both in the wrong.
I'm the one that
Yeah,
does it
but
the
like, I
most.
think it was the first time for you. And it was like the third or fourth for Gianni.
Leave me alone.
He managed to fit
Gotta
UFO
stay
into
on
his
brand, just gotta
AnyTuber
stay on brand.
anthology episode.
And it
Like,
was
come on,
damn
dude.
good. You know it was good. It worked.
It was impressive, but it was not in a good way.
I did it for you, niece. Shout out to you, niece. Check out the anthology. Watch us.
You can find it right here
On
on
this
the
channel.
channel. Plug. There we go.
Some people complained about ours. But, you know.
Oh, I haven't read the comments on ours. I should go do that while we podcast.
People complaining that, like, I made it political. Which, like, no shit. Of course I did that. That's the whole point.
We gotta reel this one in. Although mine was also kind of political. At a couple
Kind
points,
of?
but
Just a touch political.
okay, yeah.
A smidge.
All right, reeling it back in. So at this point, I think we're gonna close off non-spoilers. So if anybody that's listening hasn't seen the show, you are strongly, strongly recommended to silently leave at this point. We good?
わかります
Everyone gone? Okay. Spoilers.
Holy shit, the audience
my
was the
God.
draft the whole
Yeah.
We are all the giraffe.
Yeah, we were all the giraffe. How amazing is that? Like, breaking the fourth wall.
Hell yeah.
Wakarimasu.
time.
Okay, so I actually have a question. So when I was watching Starlight, I kind of looked at the giraffe like as a motif for height, right? So the giraffe I looked at as being representative of this Takarazuka system because the giraffe is tall, the giraffe is high up, and in a system about, that like values height and topness, if you will. I don't know how to call. What's the name in Takarazuka for the lead?
Otokoyaku.
Otokoyaku. Yeah, okay. So like the otokoyakus are tall. Like height is very important to thematically what the story is trying to tell. So I'm not really sure how he fits into being the audience when I kind of interpreted the giraffe as
Isn't it-
that. So
Well, I think the audience both perpetuates the system, but also perpetuates the ability of the actors to have any meaning in the first place. If they're acting for no one, they're not really acting at all. It requires an audience really to create a stage that's alive, and in doing so, the way the audience specifically reacts for, say, Takarazuka, or in this story to the Seisho Music Academy, is in a way that helps propagate a system. However, you could, without a doubt, have an audience that doesn't propagate that system. The audience has impact and power if they're the ones who are doing this. And I don't think it's saying that the audience is inherently bad, that like you should never act for the sake of the audience. But it's simply saying that the audience, in many cases, does help to support these harmful systems and should stay away from doing so.
And to piggyback your point on the audience, so I never felt that the show really chastised its characters for participating in this system. I think it even painted Maya and Claudine's hard work with some nobility, despite them benefiting from this warped system that is tilted in their favor. I feel like it really humanized their struggle, their hard work. It assigned a nobility to everything
Yes,
that they were doing.
I agree.
So I thought that was
One other
very
interesting
nice.
point about the giraffe is that the word for giraffe in Japanese, I believe, is kirin.
Yeah.
And a kirin is also like this like mythical chimera creature in East Asian culture that is like in Japanese culture, at least I believe. I read this somewhere that it's said to be like the strongest of the mythical creatures. So you could say that the Kirin is the top star of mythical creatures.
Something I'd be curious about is to like the exact intent of why a giraffe, because in Penguin Drum, Ikuhara talks about the penguins being not really belonging to land or sea, and they kind of represented our main siblings. So I wonder how much input the director had in choosing the giraffe itself. I don't know, because
and the giraffe was present even in the stage play before the anime
In a sense.
was made. He's out there physically because that'd be a little tough to get on stage, but they had a shadow of what was clearly a giraffe. So like the giraffe as the guy running the scene was probably not even a Furukawa introduction to the franchise.
We've known Furukawa was on the project for a long time, so I don't know how much impact like he had
Right, on the stage plays.
even among the three women that we know had like a lot of influence. Like we don't exactly we don't know exactly who like came up with this idea and like who did what early on
sure.
in like drafting like the basic story details at Bushi Road.
Yeah, maybe
That's kind of unknown. Maybe Furukawa was there early on. Maybe Furukawa didn't show up for like 6 months when the ideas were already well worked out. It's hard to really say. You know?
Hashtag thanks for the budget, Bushi Road.
Fuck you.
That would have been pretty interesting if they dragged a giraffe onto the stage play.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
No giraffes were harmed in the recording of this podcast.
All right. Have anything else to say, honey? Specifically on this topic?
Not in particular, no. It's a little unstructured, so I'm not sure what this topic is exactly.
The giraffe! The topic of the giraffe!
Us. We're talking about us.
You've done little talking, relatively speaking, so far, compared to me.
I wonder whose fault that is.
Zeria, I think we've all done little talking.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I mean...
So in basketball, there's a metric called usage percentage, which essentially calculates the percentage of possessions that a player uses. So it's kind of tracks like how much somebody uses. So Zeria, you would be the Russell Westbrook of this podcast.
Look, do you think I understand what that
Oh
means?
my god, sports
It's
references,
funny if
no
you
idea.
get it.
I have no idea either.
It's funny.
I get you. And speaking of sports references,
Thank
that
you.
does remind me. What was with the baseball? In the
Mahiru's
between
voice
Kata
actress
and
likes
Mahiru.
baseball.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, she's a fan of like specifically the mascot character that kept showing up in the review, right? Yeah. So that was part of
When that episode aired, I remember we were trying to figure out, what exactly the baseball meant, and then it was just like, no, I like baseball, and I think that character was in the PV.
The one from a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
I think it is.
So like that feels like it's been very planned from a long
I was
time.
racking
will
my
say.
brain to try to connect the dots somehow to baseball in there and that arc there.
Nope, she just likes baseball. It was that simple. Sometimes it's just that simple, Jack. We were like racking our brains, going nuts on Twitter.
one thing I will say.
My
about the
sports
giraffe.
juices started flowing. I was like, there has to be something here. I was like, oh,
I mean,
fine.
you could take it to mean that Mahiru eventually strikes out, but you know.
Oh,
She deserves
Ew.
so much better. She's a good girl. We sleep on her.
The
Poor
reveal
Mahiru.
with the draft.
Mahiru deserved better.
It's very easy for a sort of like it's your fault all along audience twists to sort of fall a bit flat or ring a bit hollow. I think like examples in video games where like a video game forces you to do an action and there's no way to avoid it, and then it says, ooh, do you not feel bad about doing this terrible thing? You're a bad person. Damn, what a twist. We're so insightful. And I felt like it avoided that just because of the way it implicated the audience in things. I don't think it was going so far that it started casting undue blame. And I think that's like a very tricky, it's a very tricky line to ride.
My question is though, did you see it coming? Like episode 12, giraffe turns around, looks.
I
at
didn't
it.
see them.
Did you see it coming?
I think I had come up with the idea that like the audience is part of the problem. I had not come up with the idea that like they would literally have the giraffe say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a historic fourth wall break.
Absolutely. Like when he turned round, I actually kind of like sat back in my seat a little bit. Like, is he looking at me? Is he looking? Is this serious? Is this what's happening? Okay, well, didn't see that's coming. I
That
thought it was
giraffe
great.
stared into your soul.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it felt like.
Can't wait for the dub version.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, totally. I haven't
Which-
watched the dub at all. Like I haven't seen any of the dub, so I don't know what the guy was like in the dub, but in the Japanese and the sub, like his voice was really powerful, so you could really feel it. Wakarimasu. But
I feel like that's a hard thing to cast, but I think whoever the hell does a giraffe is good.
No one wants to hear about the dub.
I like it. It's good.
no
It's
one
not
wants to hear
bad.
about High Dive not subbing the
And
song.
yeah, in all
either.
seriousness, they don't dub the songs, and I
Yeah.
believe they don't. Do they sub the songs in the dub?
They do, yes.
Well, they shouldn't dub the song, but they should sub the song.
The problem.
Also,
the
no,
problem.
I think they just shouldn't dub the show.
yeah,
I don't think
agree
shows
with
with
that.
like musical shows should be dubbed.
Love Live.
I agree with that.
I mean, in Love Live, they don't dub the songs, and it's fine.
Okay, I mean, the songs there are a little more like out of like context. It's not like the characters are really like when like Love Live really cuts to music in a way that
It's a
like
little more
Starlight doesn't
abstracted,
quite do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, I also think it's bad for Love Live. So like, you're not gonna get me agreeing here. I mean, I will
would
admit, I
agree
never
with-
listen to dubs ever.
Zeria
but
is a dub extremist.
that's not true. I don't actually hate them. I just never listen to them, and I never will.
Yo, no. It's not that you never listen to them. It's that you like vehemently refuse to listen to them.
Okay, well that's true, but I'm also not like such an extremist that I like shit on people who watch dubs. I just don't myself.
Yeah.
The songs are so nice. Like, I wouldn't. Why would you want to dub them? I don't understand. Like, they sing
I would
so
I would
nice.
agree though. I don't
fans.
think you should dub any music anime that's got songs, especially something like Revue, because like it's so. I can't imagine listening to the English actress as Maya, right, and then like it cutting into song and it not being her voice, you know, like cutting into the woman who plays her. So to me that just
Is
seems
this-
really off. It's like in the OVA for Violet Evergarden that I watched yesterday. That's got a song in it and it's Japanese. So if you watch the English, it's still Japanese if you watch the English dub, which I feel is wrong. Like you just shouldn't dub stuff that's got music, in my opinion.
I mean, Nana's another one that does it, and it's fine, and it's good, and it just, I don't know, it just
They dub
doesn't
the
bother
songs
me.
in that, right?
Yeah, no, they don't. They do not. Blast does not have their songs.
Do we know
dubbed.
any anime that does dub the songs?
Sailor Moon?
I mean,
I mean, like other than like Western stuff that like
Yeah,
aired like on like kids TV channels.
right.
for sure. Like Oran dubbed the OP, but it didn't have songs.
Dubbing the OP is
proper to
even worse.
dub.
Like, okay, yeah, you need to keep the OP the original. Unless it's like
Well,
Pokemon or something I watched as a kid, in which case it's totally justifiable to dub the OP, and
yeah.
you should actually go back to doing that.
Well, then High Dive say that was the issue about Starlight.
Licensing,
like,
yeah.
They couldn't get the licensing for the songs because it's a different licensee compared to the show.
For
So
sure.
then they couldn't dub the songs. But I think that really detracts from Starlight and if you're just watching it on its first viewing, because the songs mean so much to the show. So it's fine. I mean, it's great to watch without subs anyway for the songs, but it really does add a second level to it if you do get to hear the subs with it or speak Japanese and you can completely understand what's going on.
That would help too.
That would help too.
With High Dive. So I know. So they didn't dub the songs, but they didn't sub them either, right?
Well, they do. They
did
sub them
started
after.
doing
So
it with like a delay.
Like 2 weeks
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a delay. There's a delay on them.
That's why the dub actually has the songs subbed, because since they have
Right.
behind with the licensing, we were able to watch it, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the episode would release subbed, and then later the subs for the song, that version.
Yeah.
would
Wait, what do they
release.
do in like say episode 1 when like Karen like goes from like singing like where like background singing to like foreground singing? What do they do in the dub of that in that situation?
Multiple lines, so it's just like more like
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait, no, but like she starts just talking. So like, do they? It's like her singing at the end of that is like basically talking.
It's
Like,
colors.
do they still have the Japanese there, or do they dub it?
they have colors to like different.
No, this is disgusting. I'm not.
Just man, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
there are parts where she's like, we literally physically see her singing a line
Yeah.
in the song.
No, yeah,
And so
they keep the
still
song. They
leave
keep
that as is.
Yeah, they
It pulls you
But
out of the
I-
world, though. If you're listening to the English the English dub of Karen, right, and then she starts singing in Japanese, it just pulls you out of the world. You're just like, well, what am I listening to here? What am I watching? It'd be better if it was all dubbed, or just not dubbed at all. Really, is the conclusion.
But like we have Banana Fish, and like that's in New York City, and like you have these guys speaking Japanese, like that feels just as out of the environment as that.
Yeah,
does.
okay.
I mean,
yeah,
when
can
I
see
do
you.
that, like I get literally like no. I don't. I'm like, it's normal. It's normal. It's just a Japanese guy speaking English. and they're speaking English. It's just you hear Japanese, but like they're definitely speaking English, you know?
Yeah, it's like a contextual thing, you know.
Something I will say is that having the song sub completely changes the experience. In Pride and Arrogance, the third review, Karen versus Maya. Yeah, so when Maya is talking about Claudine and how she had to discard her in order to advance, and then, you know, it kind of pulls up and she pulls her sword out and it's like, I will shine even brighter and brighter. Like, that whole scene is so damn powerful because of the song lyrics in context to her relationship with Claudine. It's like, it's so good. It's the I love them like the sun.
That song helps you appreciate their relationship more, which if you don't see it subbed, kind of ruins it a little bit.
Yeah, and there's, I think, I forget which, is it episode 1? Maybe it's Karen saying this of Hikari. Someone like confesses or expresses their romantic love for their partner in their song. So like you don't have that, which
No, it's Kaudoko Futaba,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
Kaudoko.
Yeah,
There's just like the most
Okay.
like I mean they're fairly explicit all the time, but like in their song they're
I thought it was earlier in the series.
Oh no! In Mahiru's, she uses it, her song is called like
Mahiru's,
something something koi.
Right.
And koi is only used for romantic love.
That's what it was. Is the French dubbed,
Yes.
or do they switch? Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of French speakers say that the French really takes them out of the experience because it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's
the
not that-
Japanese ones do too, so that's reasonable.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of Maya calling Claudine cute in French. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
God.
The
I
my, it's
never
the my
stopped thinking
Claudine
about
part. The
that.
my Claudine, that got me.
I read a coffee shop AU fic, Kuromaya. That's very good. Very recommended. It's stellar.
This
Yeah, that's something
podcast
I wanna
stands Kudo Maya. Putting my foot in the sand.
This podcast is Tendo Maya.
I think that this is from the manga because I saw it there as well. But why do they call Claudine Kudo? I never understood that.
Well, it's because Kudo Dean.
Claudine.
Oh my God.
Kudo Dean is Kudo.
Kudo, yeah.
I am so woke right now. I had no idea. I am woke. Thank you, Zeria.
The second wokest AniTuber.
After Digibro.
We're here to have fun. Don't even get me started.
That's what we're going with this, okay.
Today's a fun day.
When did you guys know that it was special? Like, when did you go, okay, well, this is like
From
something else?
the inception and initial marketing.
Yeah, I
of
think
the
for
series.
Lachlan and I, it's so just like so much of the quality of it comes from like our love of just like what it is. That like immediately we knew it would be amazing.
Its tangible details are things that just appeal to us on such like a basic level. That it was already positioned to be a favorite, and then it was exceedingly well executed on top of that. So
Yeah, that's incredible. That's really cool. It was from episode 1. Like, I knew it was about theatre, and I was like, okay, well, let's check this out. And then episode 1, it caught me. I was like, okay, well, this is going to be something really cool. And then I think it was like by 2 or 3 where I was just completely and utterly hooked. And it was like an every Saturday thing. I can't not watch this. I need to
please
to hear what
excuse
everyone's
the
saying.
children running up and down the stairs of the apartment complex in the background, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't care about Revue Starlight.
I remember the exact moment for me. It was when Juna was on the trapeze, that little ring, and then they had that 3D camera movement. You know,
God,
like,
yeah, that was good.
Yeah, like that's the exact moment that I was
Yeah.
like, this show is going to be freaking special.
Yeah, that was incredible.
And it delivered ever since, like in spades. It was amazing. That cut itself.
For me, it was definitely, I mean, the first episode, like, got me hooked on the series, and I knew it was something that I was going to love. In fact, I think after I watched the first episode, like, I immediately tweeted out, like, this is going to be my anime of the year.
Didn't you tweet out, like, this is now a Starlight account now or something like that?
I did that, but
this is now a Starlight
that was
account.
after episode 3, and I think the review in episode 3 with Maya and Karen is what like really made it something special in my head, and that was also when I tweeted out, this is now a Revue Starlight account.
The big like wow moment for Zeria and myself, I think, was when we hit I am reborn. Like that's
Yeah.
such
Oh
a
my god,
yeah.
yeah.
hard-hitting moment.
Well, I think it was before I Am Reborn. The moment to me is as soon as the elevator starts dropping down and like the
Oh,
music
you're right. No,
hits,
for sure.
I
Because then
was
you
like-
know. Then you
'cause
know.
then I know, like, I was like, ah.
Sasuga Ikuhara.
Well, in this case, Furukawa, but Sasuga Ikuhara's
We just, like,
children.
we knew at that point that we were getting some wild, crazy, like literal reality breaching metaphorical sort of stuff.
Indeed.
The first time I watched it, the transformation sequence actually did give me chills.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was incredible.
This is a top transformation sequence for all time, right? Like this is
easy.
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, what else is
definitely.
up there?
Penguin drum, I really like.
It just feels so seamless. Like every single frame in that transformation
Does
sequence.
I mean okay wait
gorgeous.
does
What are
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moons are not nearly as good. They're kind of boring silhouette, like color.
Legacy pick though. It's the legacy pick.
This is like a heresy in certain circles, but like I don't think Sailor Moons are nearly on the level as of Starlight.
Obviously, Pokemon evolutions are the best henshin in anime.
There are a few.
I would like to
actually
raise
that are on
Digimon
that
into
level.
that, guys.
Ugh.
Digimon do have the best transformation sequences. Just want to put that out there. But
Okay, what's the
anyway,
best magical transformation sequence though? Surely
Penguin
there's
drum.
One. That's
I
better
mean,
than
no,
Sword.
a fucking Hugto, Emiru and Ruru.
I mean, theirs is really good. I don't know if I put it like
Top 5
top
all time.
Oh, top 5 maybe. Top 1?
No.
I don't think. Oh, the Kira Kira ones are absurd.
No, they are really good too.
Especially fucking Akira's, especially since it's Takarazuka based. There's got regardless, it's one of the best transformation sequences.
Of all time.
Yes, actually.
So I want to talk a little bit about Banana because she to me was probably one of the most interesting characters.
For sure.
absolutely. I didn't see.
Did you guys see the heel
turn?
turn coming?
No, I didn't.
I saw
didn't see
some.
it
There
all.
was something
we
up with
knew,
Banana.
yeah, we knew something was gonna have
Especially
to
at the
happen.
end of episode 6, she's down in the arena and is like, you're supposed to be going according to script, Karen-chan, at the end of the episode.
that's where we went, oh shit. Cause,
No, I think I realized it a little
But,
earlier,
yeah.
which is that she was ranking really high despite her professed desire to switch to the production department.
yeah, there
yeah.
were a few tells. One, just the fact that she was acting differently from any of the others in switching over to the production department. There was the fact that her ranking was so curiously high.
She's tall as shit.
In spite of seeing so little of her, relatively speaking. And yeah, she is the tallest one, which just is an element that definitely comes into play in the series.
There's a small moment in the first episode that you definitely would not catch until you
Yeah.
rewatch it. But when Hikari first arrives to the class and the teacher like announces her, Banana gets this like the first shot we see is a like somewhat surprised look on Banana's face.
Mm-hmm. No, and going
It's just
back,
like,
we
even
watched episode
then,
1
from the very
immediately
beginning,
after
like-
we watched the I think it was episode 7, and it's so much like almost every shot. There's something going on with Nana there that like, wow, they baked it in from the start.
There's that scene when Hikari locks Karen in the shed.
Yeah.
In episode 2, where like the door closes on the little banana muffin very ominously too. So that was like another tell. That was really.
Was it in episode 1, where it was one of the earlier on episodes. Hikari is like poking around in the elevator.
That's
I
2.
think.
That's 2.
And Banana like corners her in there, and her dialogue is pretty innocuous.
On the first
Upon the
time.
first watch, it's just like, oh hey, how you like? What's up, newbie? Want me to? How's it going? But like clearly, once you know what's going on, one has like a bit of an intimidating air. Like she boxes her into the closet and starts interrogating her, and 2, the stuff she's asking is very pointed and sort of focused on the concerns that arise from this script being messed with here.
This is definitely a show that like needs a second watch.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
You know, it's like you can love it the first time, but I think the second time you go through, you find all these like small details that went right over your head the first time, and you appreciate it even more. I love shows like that.
Yeah.
Lachlan and I have rewatched the first half of the show. We don't have time to rewatch the second half.
I'm currently rewatching it myself right now, but that's also for video purposes. And yeah, it's been awesome.
Something cool about the OP is that like that part where they're all walking, that little segment where they're all kind of walking, like morning, afternoon, day. Yeah, that. Banana's the only one that looks at the screen. She's the only one that looks at the camera.
Oh, clever.
Because she's the only one that knows. So, and the only reason I noticed that is because of how poorly animated the walking is.
I feel like I need to go frame by frame
Ooh, that's cool.
and analyze this shit.
Yeah, because like they kind of slide. They're not like Kudo and Maya are like actually have some bounce in their walk, but the rest are just kind of sliding. And I was like mesmerized by it, and I was like, "Huh, Banana's the only one looking at the camera. What's going on here?" And then obviously it makes sense in the context of a repeat performance, and she's the only one that really knows what's going on, and we're all kind of living in Banana's world, including the audience. So I thought that was a neat
they
thing.
specifically made the animation a little janky there to draw your eye to this important detail.
They
Ingenious,
did.
truly.
It's truly a marvel of bad production.
One connection I actually made from episode 3 is when Hikari and Mahiru are having their like argument. There's like there's that funny sequence. The comedic timing of it is great, where like Hikari keeps popping up in places where Mahiru is thirsty for Kaden.
Yes. Oh, it's so well
absolutely.
done.
That's awesome.
that.
And then where on the final one, it snaps from that comedic tone immediately out of the gag into like the actual seriousness behind Mahiru being very bothered by Hikari's presence. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
And Mahiru specifically says to Hikari, not to steal Kaden away from me. And then Hikari like sharply responds back, like, don't use that word so lightly. And like, I guess I didn't really think of it much at the time, but then once I watched later episodes and like you get the context of Hikari having her radiance stolen.
Yeah.
And then even in episode like 10 or 11 or something, like the giraffe also like really emphasizes that word, stealing the radiance. All of a sudden, that small moment in episode 3 like really contextualized that.
No, definitely. And just the emphasis on the phrase the giraffe repeats in describing the reviews. Early on in the show, he says, you're gonna fight whatever and steal from each other. And we always knew like that was important in some way, but we didn't know what that meant exactly until we got the reveal.
You did not always know it was important. You literally forgot that he said that until you watched the show. Called out.
Okay, if we're doing call-outs, Zeria is playing FGO on her phone the entire time while recording.
I mean...
If you've noticed her thought process being a bit slow, or her...
It's because I haven't been called on to do another monologue. I'll immediately put the game down if I have to.
Okay then. Okay, most important.
Whenever I'm recording podcasts, I always play FGO. I do it for the TCC. I do it for this. It's just the norm.
That monologue was high-key ripped off of the TCC. I remember hearing that exact same thing, word for word, on the TCC.
No, I explained that after like week one. That was way different.
It feels pretty verbatim. It feels like you had this plan.
because I learned a lot more about Takarazuka at the time.
You hadn't read the book, but
I hadn't read either book.
Yeah.
I'm the only TCC lifer here, so I know.
Hey, that's not true, but I do listen to the TCC, but I've been a bad TCC listener.
Well,
I haven't
fortunately,
listened
we've
to
been
you
bad
guys.
TCC
uploaders, so don't worry about it.
We need more Jackie. Jackie, the people need more Jackie.
We'll see. We can announce this. Like, we're maybe planning on doing our own TCC Revue Starlight podcast.
Maybe.
Well,
the thing is, like, we need to find a way that like would make it enjoyable for Jackie.
Yeah.
That's not just us like being like it's good and then being like I don't like it.
That's Jackie's bit though.
So it would be like if you had a UFO podcast with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
I've done that.
I mean,
I've done that.
But that was like not. That wasn't like okay. So I mean, it was.
We don't have to get back on this.
We don't have to. We don't have to.
guys,
I'm
you
sorry.
put time,
Listen,
guys,
I
you put
brought it
time.
up.
Lachlan,
I'm sorry.
like even though we weren't dating at that point, was on my side enough to like give me to play devil's advocate and occasionally work with me, even though she loves UFO.
That's true devotion right there.
True
Yeah,
love.
that was before we were dating.
Love comes in all forms.
So back to Revue.
Okay, but Tendo Maya though. But Tendo Maya.
Yes.
She's very good.
But Tendo Maya.
Especially when you see fan art of her in a suit, it's like, oh my god.
I know.
Yes.
I think she's a great character though, and her dynamic with Claudine and stuff. That's my. I know that it's your favorite Gaia, but like that is my optimal ship. The two of them together. And to be fair, Claudine's development and her whole arc and stuff is my favorite, and how she can never be top star, but she always aims for it.
I like how Maya and Claudine kind of propel each other throughout the narrative. Like they feel integral to each other. I don't know. That's always
Like
been
Maya
really
is
special to me.
integral to Claudine as a character
yeah,
functioning, but they're just because of the nature of the dynamic. There's more going on with Claudine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I like what Maya stands for, and the fact that she also seems to be just a genuinely good person as well.
Yeah.
She's also really perceptive. When I was rewatching the first episode, I noticed that while everyone else, when Hikari first comes and everyone else considers her like their new rival, Maya's the one who notes that she doesn't have her heart in it. And I kind of that's another thing that kind of goes over your head at the time.
For
but,
sure.
like,
Yeah.
with the context of Hikari's lost
It's
radiance.
a lot more prominent in the musical and the manga adaptation of it, where she literally just says that girl has no radiance.
Okay.
Which is like a
little
lot more
on the
direct.
nose.
It's shorter, so it has to be more direct, to be fair, but...
A quick note on Maya that I really like, that when other people lose in Starlight, they kind of look down. When the curtain falls on their performance, they all look dejected. Juna, Banana, everybody. But when Tendo Maya loses, she stands strong. When Banana beat her, her back is turned to Banana, the shine like right there. Like she stood strong and powerful, because as Claudine said, Tendo Maya doesn't lose. She's like really amazing how she keeps her poise, and she kind of
such a presence.
she holds her power even in defeat.
I very rarely felt like a character's power so viscerally than in the Revue in episode 3. Just like the song
stellar.
itself matched with the
Oh my
cinematography and staging of it all. Like her dominance over Karen and her superiority is so complete. Like you feel that.
For sure.
One
It's
little
incredible, yeah.
Kuromaya side note I would like to make is the fact that I love their respective relationships with Futaba and Karuko. How
Yes.
they've sort of bond with each other a little bit as they become roommates during the Futaba Karuko spat there, especially Claudine and Futaba, who are really cute together as friends. It's great.
They'd be like a good couple if they didn't have like
They
perfect
would.
girlfriends for each other.
Yeah.
I really loved when Maya and Karuko had that conversation about like the responsibility that they have for those who follow. I thought that was really, really brilliant, and I really liked how Maya and Karuko kind of share that they have someone that they have to be radiant for, and I love that, and I really like how their relationship developed.
One little moment especially that I love is when I think it's like Karuko sends her chocolates or something, Maya, and her smile when she opens the box.
Well,
and
it's
says
partially
that.
because of that, and it's
It's
partially
so
because
wholesome.
Karuko's chocolates say, like, she says, like,
Yeah.
I won't lose or something, and she's really happy to hear someone be like, I won't lose. She's so into competing. She, like, wants to be the top star, very, like, organically. Like, she doesn't want to just, like, be, like, just, like, happen to, like, win by, like, just, like, circumstance and, like, things being set up for her to do so. She wants to, like, prove herself as the best in a very even competition.
But of course, like the heart of it is that no matter the intent behind it, becoming top star necessitates, necessitates a certain selfishness and prioritizing yourself above others.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And that's ultimately why Karen's able to break the system, because she's not doing it for herself. It's a selfless act trying to fulfill her promise with Hikari and shine together on stage. The resolution in the finale was perfect in my mind.
I loved the finale. Like I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah,
kiss would
yeah.
be great,
Although I
but-
kept like honestly, I was like chanting like kiss, 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 like really.
I don't get my hopes up to have a kiss in Yuri stories.
No, I don't either. But I just wanted it so bad.
Flip
so
Flappers doesn't
bad.
have one. Yeah. Flip
Princess
Flappers-
Principal doesn't
Utena?
have one.
Yeah.
It looked so
Adolescence of
close though.
Utena.
We looked so close. Everything about it just seemed like it was gonna happen.
Oh, you're right. They still got time to redeem.
I mean, okay. Well, you say that, but like, look, Bushiroad's gonna make more of this anime. I see like almost no way they don't.
Are you sure? What can you do? What can you do now? I think it kind of had a.
Oh
perfect
well,
ending.
they can. No, there's actually a
There's
lot
the
they can
other
do,
schools.
which is to say that we can look at what the musical is doing, which is that the main conflict is not entirely, but somewhat resolved at the end of the first musical between like the girls. The girls unite at the end of the first musical,
Yeah.
and it seems that in the second musical, they're going to the girls from the other schools in the mobile game are going to show up.
Yeah.
So my prediction is the girls from the mobile game and the will show up in this next anime that will almost assuredly happen in like 2020 or 2021.
I'm not as like certain they'll do another anime. I would love it, obviously, but
I don't think you understand how media mixes work, honey. If they have success, and they are having success, they will make more.
yeah.
My speaking that my friend was in Japan or is in Japan now, and he just kept sending me pictures of just Revue Starlight. It's all over the place in Tokyo, like all over on like the sides of lampposts and everything. Like it's everywhere. So it has seemed like some pretty massive success, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And it definitely was like, if you look at this season, there's some great stuff this season, but on a whole, Starlight just stands out. Like it is the top star. It is absolutely the top star.
It's
Planet
definitely the
With comes very close.
and it's definitely I like Yamano Susume. I like yeah it does.
Oh, that's right.
And also I like Yamano Susume season 3 better, but that's a sequel, so I won't count it.
Yeah, I always put sequels like kind of a little bit lower. What, Starlight?
I'm leaning more closer to that end.
It's anime of the year for me. Of a, like new anime,
sequels, yeah.
but Sangatsu season 2 and which was only like the second half aired, so I guess you could call that 2017 anime. But like, I love Sangatsu season 2 so much that like it's not even like reasonable to compare anything to it. And Yamano Susume season 3. So
What was the arc in the second half of Sangatsu season 2? It's been so long, I almost forgot.
it's like the conclusion of the Hina arc, and then
The older guys, is that in the second
Shimada,
half, right?
let Shimada
yeah, but that's
win
not
a
like
title.
really an arc. I don't think it's not very heavily arc based. It's just like eventually like Hina tries to, without spoiling too much, get in. Yeah. I don't want to spoil
okay, yeah,
anything.
it's coming back to me now.
Hina's good.
God, Hina is such a great character.
Look, I think I need to make it clear here that Sangatsu quickly became one of my like top 5 anime, so like that's not a fair comparison. It only became
Yeah,
that in the second
totally.
season because the first season was not as good.
It beat Yorimoy for me, barely, but
Nothing can dethrone that for me. Nothing.
For yourself, you mean, Johnny?
yeah. For me, that was like my top show of the year. For until like about near the end of Starlight. I was actually watching the Shirase email scene earlier today.
The email scene is so
Oh
good.
my god.
It's so good. Something else that Yorimoy does exceptional that I don't really know if Starlight does better are the insert songs. I don't really know how we're supposed to count that for Starlight.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
since that's something that I'm going to have to make a determination of, is what was the best insert song of the year. And I have no idea what I'm
Yeah,
going to
that's
pick.
super tough.
But like, do we count them? I don't know. It makes it super hard. Like, do these count or?
I've been listening to like all of them basically on loop for the last 2
I
weeks.
mean,
They're
it's
so
gotta
good.
count, right? Like it is an insert.
They're insert.
And it is also a song.
I mean, I would like to just give the award to Revue Starlight in general. Just all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single
That
one.
would
all
be
top star.
reasonable. Cool. What's next on the docket?
So we can just do you guys just want to do some like quick final thoughts and then move on to the questions?
There are a lot of questions, so you might want to move to them soon.
Yeah, we have quite a few questions. So why don't we, if you want to say, just like give a last few words.
Thank you, Bushiroad, for the budget.
Thank you, Bushiroad, for the budget.
Revue Starlight's really good. You should watch it. And you should read some books on Takarazuka.
And you should watch some Takarazuka.
Yeah, you should.
And also read the Revue Starlight manga. It's good. It adds really
I don't
good
think
context.
you have to read about Takarazuka to appreciate the story, but I do think it significantly increases your enjoyment of it. So
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one thing that I saw a couple people criticize it for on Twitter was that it didn't make some of those connections and the inner workings of the system
Say
clear
names,
enough.
Jack. Say names.
And this was the same exact argument I heard about Shogun Roku Rakugo Shinju when it came out. Like, the same argument. And I have the same response to it, where it's just like...
Here's the thing. I don't think it's actually bad for a show to make you do research. I think that can be a good thing. Actually.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, if a show is sort of good and intriguing enough on its own to sort of compel you to go do that research, as I think Revue Starlight is for many, many viewers, and Rakugo Shinju similarly, it's a mixed point. Like, it may be a negative in some regards, but it's also a point in the show's favor.
No, I just
that
think
means
it's
it leads to you.
I think it's fair to not want to
broadening
like
your
do
knowledge,
research, and
for
if you're
sure.
like gonna say, well, I'm not interested in this show because I would have to do research. That's okay, sure. But I don't think it's fair to say this show inherently fails because you have to do research.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's reasonable for a show to make you learn more about what it's talking about, especially when it comes from a different culture. Like,
Yeah.
a Japanese person would have to do
For
some
sure.
research to understand something about like American
Yeah.
very specific cultural icons.
Putting like the onus on a piece of Japanese media to explain things that are more of a cultural touchstone in Japan, and that maybe wouldn't warrant that explanation even for a Japanese audience, or at least as much of an explanation, definitely I think misses the mark a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the sticking point for me. And the same thing goes for Rakugo, that, like, I don't think it's exactly fair to expect a Japanese series from a Japanese production company aimed at a Japanese audience about a Japanese theater style to cater to, any other culture or audience that may not be as informed on the matter, especially when that information is readily available, if you need to go find it.
I think a good example of that would be like for like Kuroko no Basket, like they have to explain the rules of basketball, and if that was an American show, I don't really feel
Yeah.
like rules would be explained. Like, you're just expected to know basketball as an American. Like, you have
Especially
to.
if you're
I think on the other hand,
basketball
like
show.
if you look at like a baseball anime, they don't explain the rules of baseball because everyone in Japan knows the rules of baseball.
Exactly. Try watching Major League without knowing the rules of baseball. Actually, I think that'd be better.
I think the bottom line is that if you're coming to a work that is about like a specific, some specific cultural artifact or whatever word you want to use, like some level of knowledge, some prerequisite knowledge about said thing is okay to be expected. Like, if there's a baseball anime and you come in with zero baseball knowledge, like, to me that onus is on you to fill that in.
I mean, like, I don't know anything. I don't understand shogi, and I don't blame Sangatsu for not teaching me like perfectly how to play shogi.
Is shogi like chess? I still don't know what the hell it is.
It's connected. It's related to chess.
So it's
at
in the
very
chess
least.
family?
So,
I basically just think of it as chess in my head. That makes it easier for me.
Like Sangatsu, I have no idea what the rules are. I don't know anything. I see like in other anime they're playing chess. It's like I don't know, dude.
And in Sangatsu's point though, there are like some parts where they include like literal
The cat
tutorials with
Yeah,
the
but I
characters.
didn't learn anything.
I don't know
from
any. That
those.
doesn't work.
and that went straight over my head.
I don't know how to play.
I think I was just too focused on
Yeah.
Momo.
Yeah, I have no idea the rules, and Sangatsu really didn't bother to explain it at all. Like, zero interest in telling me how to play shogi. And in other anime where shogi is very prevalent, they don't explain it. Like, it's just kind of
But the
there.
other thing too is that listening to rules being explained is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Unless it's Fate rules,
So there's that.
because there's a lot of Fate Holy Grail rules.
Fate does it good though, because they're fake rules. I want to learn fake rules. I don't want to learn real rules.
Kire kotomine.
Yeah, Fate works because the rules are so absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely nothing.
I like the ridiculous rules. They're good.
All right, so anybody have anything else to add? I did just want to say this one quote that I picked out of the first episode. This is when Karen like falls onto the stage and stuff, and like introduces herself to the auditions. She says, "On a stage overflowing with stardust, a flower of love blooms gracefully."
Ooh.
I just thought that line was awesome, and that's why you should watch the show.
Yeah, it's very good poem.
It has such flowery language, and it's great.
Make sure to watch fan subs, though, so that you actually get, like, lyrics.
Yes.
Starlight subs, we out here. Yeah.
I've been watching Chew Pass, and
yeah, Starlight hasn't finished the show yet, so use Chew Pass.
Still?
They're...
Ugh. That takes... I thought they were done by now. I was watching it at first, and then I just switched to H-Dive, like, when they stopped catching up.
Yeah, because there's such a...
I won't comment on how I usually get my anime. Leave that for the viewers to imagine. Don't. I won't say anything so that Crunchyroll might eventually sponsor me, and I don't want to imply that I'm perhaps slighting them in any way.
Gotta get that Crunchyroll sponsorship. It's okay. We understand.
わかります。
So we have like close between like 15 and 20 questions here. So let's try to get through these. And if you're one of the people who asked a question and I just basically took your Twitter handle, so if I pronounce it wrong, sorry. First up, Klaziranon asks, what would your weapons be if you were a stage girl?
I think I answered in the quiz that it would just be a sword. I feel like I'm too basic to use anything other than a sword.
Well, the question doesn't specify, but I'm assuming that you could choose any weapon in existence, not necessarily one that one of the actual stage girls has.
Yeah.
I think I'd still use a sword.
Mine would definitely be a bow and arrow. I've always been like a kind of long distance person, I guess, and video games and stuff. So I always use like bow and arrow. So definitely bow and arrow.
I picked bow and arrow in the quiz because whenever I play games, I always like to be the sniper, sneaky stealth.
Actually, can you just give me a gun?
I mean, yeah.
Gun. Okay, there we go.
It doesn't have to be a modern gun. Like, give me like a like
French military.
Yeah, give me something that's like flintlock. I'll take it. Just like give me a gun.
Lachlan, what about you?
Similarly to Zeria, I'm too weak to use like half the weapons in the show. The bow was tempting because they're cool, but I'm too weak to use that. You actually have to be very strong to pull string.
Yeah.
So dagger, tricksy, fancy, sneaky stuff. Hell yeah.
Like Hikari's dagger, like the way that it just kind of comes on the string and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. I thought her weapon looked a little bit lame, and then it got
leveled
used
up.
more, and then I was like, "Whoa, this is the best weapon in the whole show."
I'm surprised nobody said that they would dual wield like Kirito.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not strong enough for that.
You could dual wield with daggers.
Yo, I'm so hyped to watch SAO tomorrow. I'm so hyped.
My poor sister gave up halfway through. I was like, it's fun.
It's fun. I enjoy watching SAO. I admit it.
I haven't seen the second series, so I don't even know if I can jump into this
SAO.
third one.
She's seen none of it, and she's still gonna watch it with me.
Not a single episode of SAO? Really?
Nope.
I didn't think that was possible. I thought everyone
I've
had
made a few
went through
videos
that.
on it, but I haven't actually watched it.
I thought everyone had to go through the arc, just had to go through the SAO thing.
The second arc is so bad. Like, I can't.
I specifically did watch SAO after I already was told it was bad. And I agreed at first, but I think I've come to truly unironically enjoy it.
It's like a bad shonen, you know? Like even though it's cliche and typical, sometimes you just want that. Sometimes you don't want something that's like.
Sometimes you want to slurp up your slop like the pig you are.
Absolutely.
And for that, you've got SAO.
I love that.
Well, that question went into a great direction. Okay.
Yeah, what were we talking about again?
Well, we answered the question.
Johnny, you never said what weapon you would be
I would use like my rapier. Is it rapier? How do you say
Rapier. Rapier's good.
it? Okay, yeah, that. And I always in Fire Emblem, like I always like the lords who use it. It's just such a cool kind of sword. Like I don't know, it's pretty awesome. Like I dig that.
Upgrade to the S-Stock though. As long as you're in patch 1.0, you're overpowered as hell.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3, baby.
Gamer girl. I do not know much about Dark Souls, but I will defer to you on this.
I don't know how to pay taxes, but I do know all about Dark Souls 3 PvP balance patches.
You probably should, like, next year do your taxes better.
To be fair, it wasn't my fault largely, the tax complications that occurred. It was my father.
He was some of the influence. You should have filed them way earlier, though. That was you.
Look, I filed them on time. It should have been filed on time enough to work.
The thing is, you're not... If you're smart, you don't file them on time. You file them well ahead of the time. It's for the previous year, and you have like 3.5 months.
If you were a stage girl, what color represents you most, and
This
why?
podcast is
Review
not
taxes.
trying to get anybody thrown in federal prison for tax fraud. Okay.
I'll get thrown in Polish prison.
You'd be like Cristiano Ronaldo. Nobody's going to
She's
I
evading
got it.
Polish taxes.
I
Ironically.
do literally owe
You
the
get
Polish government some number of zlotys for taxes.
Sizzles.
So you were never going to Poland.
Umu's Rose Emperor Praetor Danny asks, if you were a stage girl, what color represents you the most and why?
Purple, because I like it.
I was going to say green because I like it. I don't really know the symbolism behind like specific colors besides maybe like blue is sad. So
Purple is a regal color. I hate the nobility and they should die. But like,
Those
They've got some good
bourgeoisie.
aesthetics.
yeah.
Mine would definitely be yellow because I always look on the bright side of things. So I think that's like a yellow color.
Aw.
Aw,
I know,
that was
right?
a good
Oh,
answer.
how sweet. Also, I like bananas, and pretty much the whole quiz just made me realize I am Nana. Oh, well.
God, watching Banana make all those baked goods made me so hungry.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. I want to just cook.
I did make some banana pudding though.
Go to the
That was
Sapphic
semi-inspired.
Yeah,
Sanctuary
on
Banana
our
to
side
watch
channel, the
Zeria
Sapphic
bake
Sanctuary, I made
banana
banana
muffins.
muffins.
Oh my god, I want to watch that. That made me hungry.
Colors are tough. I don't know what colors mean. What are you... Zeria's making strange head motions. I don't know what she's trying to indicate.
I'm just disappointed in you. How can you be an analyst if you don't know what every color means?
Oh, okay.
Pick the one you like the most. What's your favorite color?
It used to be green. Now I'm more of a color centrist. I felt that color extremism was, unwise of me. It was the naive childishness of my youth. And I've moved past that and embraced enlightened centrism. I'm gonna get headbutted. I got headbutted. I like a light blue, pastel blue. That's nice.
Let's go with my purple.
Pastel blue and purple goes well. Look, you got it right here. It's like these.
Yeah, kinda.
There you
Let's
go.
move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how this question just turned into what was our favorite color. We're sorry, Danny. It was a good question on paper. We're just bad. Okay. Elijah says, I'd be interested in hearing you discuss the unique talents behind the series. How do you think Starlight fits into Ikuhara's legacy? Thoughts on Furukawa's potential as a series director? Thoughts on Fujisawa's OST? And what do you hope to see from the show staff in the future?
Okay, so let me go down this list.
Yeah, you gotta unpack this.
Now, all right,
How do you think Starlight fits into Ikuhara's legacy? Well, I think in the last 5 or so years, Ikuhara's always been the kind of person who draws talent to him and allows that talent to evolve. I think Kevin, it was on Twitter, recently said that he thought one of Ikuhara's best talents was his ability at picking staff and helping them grow. And I definitely concur on that. Now, as I said, while there's always been, as we will get to later, certain proteges of Ikuhara who have moved on, I think in the recent times we've especially seen Ikuhara's various understudies, perhaps you could call it to fit the theme, like become full-fledged directors on their own. And I think if we're talking about Furukawa here, Furukawa clearly has some of the most potential. Now, some people early on, who don't know much, claimed that the series was simply aping Ikuhara's style. This is entirely unfair. Furukawa was an assistant director on both Penguin Drum and Yurikuma Arashi. Now, I think that if you're going to compare Starlight's visuals to an Ikuhara work, Utena is certainly not the one I would do it to, aside from their shared Takarazuka influence. It would definitely be Penguin Drum and Yurikuma, series which Furukawa had extremely high amounts of impact on. And I think this show demonstrates multiple things. One, Furukawa is totally capable as a series director of managing projects on his own. And by on his own, I mean like obviously on his own, entirely like independent. That's not how anime production works. But you know, away from Ikuhara. Two, I think Ikuhara has the spirit of Dezaki in him, and that's clear. And Furukawa has the spirit of Ikuhara in him. But there's still quite a bit of unique things in the series that Ikuhara wouldn't do. I think the focus on animation is the most key.
Yeah.
Ikuhara's shows are very static. Even Penguin Drum, which has quite a number of impressive cuts, it's shot in a very static way. Its layouts are a lot less suited towards motion. Furukawa imbues a much greater reality to his world.
Yeah, just watch episode 1.
His world is more grounded and feels more lived in, even if it's still surrealist and absurd. Ikuhara's worlds, while surrealist and absurd, are not at all realistic. He almost scoffs at the nature of verisimilitude in a way that I don't think Furukawa does. Furukawa just is a very different director, despite being heavily influenced by his mentor. And I think he has amazing potential as an SD, and I cannot wait for the next anime he ends up on. Hopefully he'll be able to make anime more often than his mentor was able to. And hopefully he doesn't take a 12-year break after this, like his mentor did. But, you know.
That Sada's on my PV, though.
Oh my god, that Sada's on my PV.
Do the whole show in that style, cowards, do it.
There we go. There's my Ikuhara
Part 1
monologue. Part 1.
I think it's funny that people criticize or say that Starlight is aping Ikuhara's style when Ikuhara himself took ideas from Takarazuka, which Starlight is inspired by. I mean, it's this really like closed view of the series
for sure.
Doesn't account for all the different avenues that creators and productions pull inspiration from. Absolutely. Anybody have any thoughts on the soundtrack?
It was stellar. Fujisawa
not
is
just
a
like
genius.
the insert songs and stuff, but like the actual like background music.
After experiencing both his work on both Land of the Lustrous and then now Revue Starlight, he's one of the foremost composers I think in the industry.
For sure.
Certainly shaping up to be that with a few more series under his belt to sort of highlight things. He's just on a fairly straightforward generic rom-com this season, so I don't feel like he'll get to flex as much as he did.
Which one?
What was that?
What show is he on?
Tonari no Kyuketsuki-san, a giddy comedy, slice of life
vampire show.
Oh, that one. Got you.
But like both Revue Starlight and Land of the Lustrous at many points felt like they were almost storyboarded in rhythm with his music, and it was a really hypnotic experience.
Absolutely. That's two of the best soundtracks of the last 2 years, easily. And then, did anybody else have anything to add on there? What do we hope to see from the show staff in the future? I think Zeria pretty much covered
more
that.
Anime.
Yeah.
More.
Way more anime.
Not 12-year breaks.
I just want them to do what they would like. I would hope that the success of this series would allow Furukawa the freedom to work on whatever he wants. If he wants an original anime, give him an original anime. Please.
Daniel asks, how would you claim position 0 with a twirl like Karen or a catchphrase like mine?
I mean, holding my girlfriend's hand over the position 0. Like,
yeah, we gotta do it the way that Karen did at the very end. Although they don't really claim it when they do so.
No,
but we would claim it by doing so.
I would definitely stab a sword into it and just look right down the back of the lens and say freedom in a big deep Scottish accent. That is exactly how I would do it.
Very on brand. I would do it the way Ike does his downton in Smash. Because I fight for my friends. Like position 0, I fight for my friends. So that's how I would.
I don't even know what I would do. I would not claim position 0, so that answers that question. It would never come up. I would lose. It's okay.
You don't think you could be top star?
I don't think that if we're literally talking about our fighting abilities here, I don't think that I would last very long. Student says, thoughts on the Karen Hikari Mahiro OT.
One of
It's
the
so
greatest
good.
ships of all time. Of all time.
No,
It's so
no.
Name a better one.
Okay.
Can you name a better
I got
one?
the best
A better
one ever.
OT.
No, okay. No. Do not come at me with the Love Live 3 third years, with the Sunshine 30 years.
Not even that one, although that one is excellent. In Oregairyu, the 3 Yukino, Hachiman, and Yui. That is the best.
No, that's wrong, because Hachiman is best. Hachiman is best with Totsuka.
They're the
Yeah.
best. I will not. This is not for debate. We've discussed this on my
Hachiman's
podcast.
best with Totsuka. Anyways, look, Hachiman ending up with Totsuka shows him coming to terms with his queerness, and it's actually better. Anyways,
Good editing.
Karen Hikari Mahiru, one of the best OT3s. One of the best OT3s.
It's
Very
If
good.
not the best.
Like,
Very good.
just the whole dynamic one of like the insecurity that rests there because of the
Because
supposedly stolen
we're problematic and like problematic ships.
love. And then Mahiru just like mommying the pair of them and being like this, like, okay, I have to deal with like your incompetence at running a household, but actually secretly she loves doing it. It's so good.
Yes.
I think even what's probably the weakest ship in the series? Would it be Banana and Juna?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. Even though they're good, but
I don't think that's the weakest ship. I mean, I don't like Karen as a character.
Well,
but I don't
okay.
think
I
it's the
mean, if we're
weakest ship.
considering Hikari Karen separate from the OT3,
Yeah.
then
Hikari Kanen on its own is relatively dull. There's more material there than Banana.
They're so
Juna.
strong thematically.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
I think the manga has more like
Yeah.
romantic stuff for Banana and Juna.
I mean, if we're talking about the manga, like manga Kaoruko and Futaba is like amazing. I can't like they're so
Manga Kauruko Futaba is very good.
I mean, like
the moments that they have are like they're so
Yeah.
pure and they're so
yeah.
I love them. They're
I
so
still need to read the
important.
manga.
I feel it's kind of necessary companionship reading, and I'm gonna try to sell you on this idea. Tendo Maya is scared of ghosts.
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
it's so good. It's so good, Jack. You have to read it.
Oh, this. Okay, yeah.
Like that's the quality that we need. That's the
There's
content.
2 chapters back to back dedicated to Futaba and Kaoruko dating.
Oh my god, those are
That's
so good. They're so cute.
Really?
that's
Oh my god,
amazing.
I need to read the manga.
No, yeah, they're so merry. You don't understand.
They're called like Our First Time Living Together and Our First Fight are the names of the chapters.
Oh my god.
That gave such an amazing dimension to Futaba and Kaoruko's relationship. It's important.
So yeah, the last thing I wanted to say about Hikari and Karen is just that like, if you separate their like thematic arc from their just actual character dynamic between the two, then like just looking at their dynamic, I would say that they're probably the weakest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if
And
you're
I say that
doing
relatively speaking.
any in the context of the show, they work obviously because that thematic stuff is there propping them up. But if, for example, you had the pair of them and you were trying to do outside material like a fic or something that just isn't as much of interest to work with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Most
All right.
exciting stuff
Tombsbury
is
Crunch
Hikari.
asks, "What is your favorite review song and favorite review sequence?"
Tough.
I think Mahiru's is my favorite song.
I think Mahiru's is my favorite sequence.
I think Maya's like episode 3 is my
it's
favorite
close.
sequence.
Maya's episode 3 is my favorite sequence.
I think that's mine too. Like,
The
would
episode
agree
2
with that
song
as
is
well.
actually really good.
oh,
Juna and
yes, that one's a star nose. Juna's amazing. I love her voice.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
I
love
think
like
that
Mahiru's
Juna might have
like,
the best singing voice.
Her?
like the
No,
way
no.
like Mahiru's insecurities come out in her
Yeah.
song are so good,
Yeah.
and like the fact that it's literally like explicitly romantic love.
The episode 5 song is really good too.
The episode 8 song with Hikari and Banana, so good. It's like amazing.
I haven't actually listened to like the episode 8, 10 and the finale songs enough because I don't think those are like released yet.
I'm waiting on that because my video depends on it. But yeah, so here's a pro tip for you guys on YouTube. There's a video that's like 9 minutes long that has all the songs from episode 8 to the finale, so like all the little interlude songs or whatever. And what they do is that they lower the voices, but they raise up the volume of the songs, so they're listenable. So that's a pro tip for you guys if you're interested.
Oh my god.
I might have to check that out. Do we know when the actual songs are going to be released?
Okay, so I think it's October 17th or the 22nd. The OST comes out, and they're so we're kind of waiting on that so that I can get working.
All right. Oh, hey, look at this. Our next question is from our own resident Giancarlo asking,
The most important question.
does Kaoruko have floof?
Absolutely.
And
Definitely.
actually, I should
100%.
point out that he said, does Kaoruko gave floof? But I'm going to assume that was a typo.
They're all typos.
No, you have floof.
I know.
Look up Mamiko. She for sure has the same haircut as Mamiko.
Mamiko has.
I know we
floof.
weren't supposed to bring up UFO, but
Jack did it, not
is
me.
there.
Jack did it, not me.
Oh, the sister who like deprives the Reina of time, where perhaps Kumiko could have, like dissuaded her friend from wasting time on talking.
Fuck you, Zeria. That's the best arc.
Can't believe you're accusing Mamiko of being a cock blocker. The hell. Serious UFO slander is like too much.
Okay, but Mamiko's also great.
Yeah, Zeria. Mamiko is great. Stop slandering her. Stop slandering her good name.
I will not comment on that.
Typical.
This is a
It
very
is one
good
of the three
Kaoruko I
best.
just
It is
found.
one of the three
I
best
don't
portrayals
think.
of
Let me be
sibling
clear here. I don't
relationships
actually
in
think
anime I've
Mamiko
ever
is
seen.
awful. I
Yes.
just was totally bored by her arc and found it like not at all interesting.
I hate you.
Mm.
I hate you so much. Why you like this?
The only point here was that they have the same hair.
Kaoruko is floof, yes.
Karuko has floof. I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah.
that we can establish this. This was very important to me.
All right, Pumpkin Spice Greg asks, yay or nay, Futaba Maho Shoujo
Yes,
spin-off?
Please. Futaba is simultaneously super cool and also really adorable and cute.
She's like the most boyish of the 9, but she's also like the shortest and like adorable.
yeah.
When she's wearing like her hoodie, she looks like so tiny,
Yeah,
and like you
yeah.
could like pick her up and like stuff her in a locker.
All right, so who's gonna call Bushy-Road? Anybody?
It's called Bushy Road.
I'll send him an
Bushy
email.
Road.
Pumpkin Spice Asher Lev. Well, that's 2 Pumpkin Spice. That was weird. Pumpkin Spice Asher Lev asks, why should we watch Revue Starlight? Are the comparisons to Star Driver fair? Who is best girl, and what does this show do especially well that future shows could
Okay,
learn
so we
from?
already talked about why we should watch Revue Starlight. So
Yes, that was
allow
fine.
me to jump into Star Driver. So Star Driver is a 20.
12.
I think it's 10.
11?
It's 2010 because it aired the year before Penguin Trim aired, and Penguin Trim aired in 2011. Star Driver is a 2010 anime by Takuya Igarashi. Now, Igarashi has an interesting history. Like many in the industry.
Try and truncate that interesting history down to like 30 seconds, dear.
Okay, he started at Toei. He worked out as an episode director on Sailor Moon for the first 4 seasons. He then became the series director for the final season after Ikuhara quit. But he was raised by Ikuhara in the meantime. He then he spent a little more time at Toei. Eventually, he quit to go work at Bones. At Bones, he became one of their star directors. Still is.
Yeah.
He's stuck working on...
Bungo Stray Dogs
I mean,
forever.
probably not stuck. He probably likes it.
Yeah.
It fits his shoujo stylings. But, like, he's just working on Bungo Stray Dogs forever right now. However, he's, like, a very accomplished director. Very good.
Hold on, High School Host Club, baby.
That, Soul Eater. He did a lot of the later seasons of Doremi. He's really quite impressive. An Ikuhara he might be the actual best Ikuhara protege. Probably is, actually. Anyways, he's also a Sato protege as a result. Anyways, he made Star Driver, and Star Driver has a lot of similarities in that with Starlight, in that like Starlight, it's Ikuhara inspired, but it's also clearly not something made by Ikuhara. It has a greater focus on animation. It's not transformation, but like the sequences where like the mechs get prepared in Star Driver is the sequence that feels the most like Starlight sequences to me. So yes, I think the comparisons to Star Driver are very fair. The themes and stuff are somewhat different. It's not the same show, but I do think it can be compared, perhaps even better than it can be compared to any given Ikuhara anime. There you go. That's the answer. I think I'm the only one here who's seen Star Driver, so
You are, although I really want to.
it's good.
I do like how this podcast, we've basically gotten like 3 Zeria videos in this podcast. Okay, so who is best girl? We're gonna save that
Futaba.
till the end. There's a very similar question.
Okay.
And what does this show do especially well that future shows should learn from? We kind of basically answered that throughout the podcast. But I just want to say, more shows should use insert songs and musicality.
Yes.
Yes.
Just throw that one out there.
On all counts.
I liked how Yorimoi did it, and here it was amazing.
Indeed.
Agreed.
Ink asks, thoughts on the London school that Hikari went to and what that's supposed to reference.
Isn't there?
I think it's
London's...
it does reference a specific London school, but I think most clearly it's just to show that while this is a criticism of Takarazuka and like about Takarazuka, it's also reflective of the general culture surrounding theater more broadly, and most likely the general culture surrounding art. If you were to expand it further. So I think it's an important inclusion to like make the point that this critique isn't just limited to Takarazuka specifically, like you said.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
There's presumably like an American school and shit too.
Presumably,
exactly.
since some of the designs we've seen for the mobile game have people with like...
No, those are all three. All three are
those
Japanese
are all
schools.
Japanese.
It's just
okay.
like Girls Who Panzer.
Yeah,
Some of the
right,
Japanese schools are pretty fucking like taking other countries.
Yeah. There's a cowboy girls school.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play the mobile game.
Yes.
That's true.
Unironically, I'm like up for the pre-release things via email.
Suki asks, how would you rate those banana puns? Are you a Claudine or a Maya, and what is the worst or weakest part of the show?
Wait, are you a Claudia or a Maya? Just mean, are you a top or a bottom?
That's exactly what I mean.
I would rate those puns banana nice out of 10.
Yeah.
Love it. As someone who writes puns for a living, I 100% rate them highly.
It's not banana nice though. It's banana nice.
Yeah, it's banana ice. I'm definitely inserting the dub line there, by the way.
The dub.
Banana nice.
And that was so bad. That was so bad.
It's the best. How dare you? That's the best part of the dub.
It's awful. What the fuck?
Banana ice. It's like, oh god.
Banana
That's the only line I've seen from the dub, by the
Banana
way.
nice.
I think student always tweets.
In fact, that was the first thing I ever saw of the show.
Sounds like something out of a Pokemon dub. I kind of like it.
It is. It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 Wonders. I still love this show as much as I did, since that was the first clip I saw of
It's
Revue
the
Starlight.
best part of Starlight.
Was somebody tweeting? I think it was you, Gianni, tweeting that video.
It's so good.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Stand by it.
Second question.
As
are you
for
a
are you a Claudia or
Are you a
Maya? I think
Claudine
there
or a
can kind
Maya?
of only be one Maya, and I don't know if any of us is that.
We're all just
I certainly am
Claudines.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Well, you two both got Claudine on the quiz, so I think you're definitely Claudine.
Yeah.
But like, can we
And I
both be
scored- I scored
Claudines
pretty
within
well
our
on
relationship
Maya.
to each other?
Yes. And so they were both bottoms.
Yeah. Cool. We're both
And what
Claudines.
is the worst part of the show?
What is the worst or weakest part of the show?
Karen.
I like Karen. The fact that the production dips.
animation- Yeah, the production issues. but-
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it sucks ever.
No.
It's just like it gets worse.
It's so unfortunate because for such an ambitious project, like by the end of it, you could tell that it was held together by duct tape and like straps.
Duct tape and koide.
Yeah.
Oh, but the
Yeah.
but the Hikari banana review was so good.
So good.
Yeah,
That's
that
one of
was
the
incredible.
best. Yeah, that's the one from episode 8, right?
Yes.
That was the
That's-
one that the staff were hyping up and saying like.
No,
this
I mean
is-
9. I don't think 9 looks bad. It's just like far less good from the standards we've been held up to.
Nine was not. Nine did not look good, and I even think that Banana's swords are not like the right size. So I wonder if they'll go back and fix that later. But just the dip. I mean, from episode 1, and then you get the highlight in 8. And I think in 10 you have a couple moments that's like pretty decent, but for the most part it's just
Right. They hadn't. Yeah.
So I just think it's a production as a whole because they're so strong in so many areas, and then like the production just totally falls flat at times, and you're just like, oh,
Okay, so it's a mixed bag because on the one hand the production is very, very strong at points, so I wouldn't even say that like the production writ large is the weakest part of the show, but the sort of production consistency as it is, it's deeply impressive that they were able to execute on as much of their
It's
ambition.
deeply impressive that they were able to finish the show.
Yeah, as they ended up doing.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the weakest part of the show is definitely that they did not get to fully execute on that ambition.
I think that at times it really helped the story. Like, I think of Evangelion and how their restrictedness kind of allowed them to
For
develop
sure.
very artistic kinds of things, like the elevator or whatever. And I think
I mean,
that happened a lot in Starlight. Like, the framing and just the shot composition was with the stills and the settings was so damn creative that it really at times lifted the production. So the limitation helped at times, I think.
I think Seven's the best example of that.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Madonna's for like the episode that reveals her being in the time loop. Like
Yeah.
it has very little animation other than the one cut where she turns to face the camera, and but it looks great because it's got amazing composition.
Right. It's always visually engaging.
The shot composition, the show is like some of the best. Not even the reviews, but just around school and everything. Like the direction, just where people are standing, particularly in the banana episodes. I thought they were really good and how creative they got, especially with the motifs that they use and how they kind of frame everything together with the hands and the stage and the twinkles and just everything, and how people stand in certain positions and it kind of, they bring it back. So I'm like I think the shot composition is one of the strongest parts, despite even though the animation was not really there the entire series, but the shot composition was always strong. And like, I don't know, I love that.
I think that, you know, regarding the production, knowing what we know, the fact that we got what we did is incredible in its own right.
For sure.
And it certainly went out on a high note too.
Yeah, completely. Episode 12 was amazing.
12 was fantastic. So I think that we might just skip the next two questions. Barty and Lucky Assassin both asked about like how it critiques
Takarazuka theater and stuff, which
and
we've
we've covered that pretty extensively already. Or I should say, Zeria has covered that pretty extensively already. So I think we'll move on to Visibly Bananice asks, that's an awesome name, by the way. Do you think this would have benefited if it was odd chord, like 14 or 16 episodes?
I don't know. I think
It didn't
like-
feel like it was
like
really,
the only thing I think
rushed
you could
or
do to really make this
lacking
show
for
like way
episodes.
better is like significantly increasing the depth of every character, but you'd have to like double the episode count for that. And also, look, people are not going to be happy when I say this. It's a media mix, and you're supposed to read the other stuff. Like, and people can say like, oh, well, the anime doesn't stand on its own, and I agree. But like, I don't care. I read the other stuff, and I enjoy it. You don't have to read the other stuff, but it's there to read and will make the experience better. And I don't think something has to stand on its own to be good.
And I mean, it's still part of the same story.
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to also be
Like,
part of the
if
anime?
something
Like,
has a second season, you don't
Blame
say
the
it's
second
bad because the
season.
first season doesn't cover, as long as, you know, it comes out within a reasonable time frame and all that. So if something has additional material in the same story,
Now, I
just
understand that in the
different
West it's
medium,
harder to get a hold of that material, and that does suck. But I wouldn't say that it's the fault of the work. I'd say that's the fault of like licensing bullshit.
default of you by not knowing Japanese.
Yeah, that too.
The other thing too to consider is that, well, okay, like maybe if they had 4 more episodes, they could have fleshed out the characters a little bit more, but then the production might have just
That
straight up
too.
broken.
Could they have done any more than they already did? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we got the 12 that we did is already remarkable.
To the quality as well.
I also think that a lot of times people like feel like not everything has to be a damn character story. Like sometimes things, like not everything has to be Rakugo Shinju. Like sometimes things can just be what they are. Like I think Starlight wants to tell stories about ideas rather than people. Like these characters are vessels for ideas and symbols. It's not, you know, like not everyone has to be Yamuko or your Shinji Ikari, or you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that deep. Sometimes what we get is enough, and I think what we got is enough. And I rather enjoyed what we got. It was good.
Okay, so Rar asks, can you explore the symbolism in more detail and reflect on if it works or not?
I think we
Yeah.
covered like
Yeah,
at least
pretty
at
much
least like the
touched on
symbolism
that.
that's interesting to us. If anyone has like any specific symbols they want to bring up now, in addition to what we went over.
Is there anything anybody wants to say about Tokyo Tower?
It's tall.
Tokyo Tower ga takai ne.
I did really like how Tokyo Tower is symbolic for a lot of things, as I mentioned before, how it's about height and Takarazuka and all that stuff, but also for Hikari and Karen's relationship, and how at the end when the I am reborn moment happened, it became a bridge, right? So like the reclaiming of this system became this bridge to their love, to their stage. And I thought that was really, really cool. And just with the entire motif of Tokyo Tower is falling from Hikari's review with Banana to the Karen ED. Like it was just done so well and so masterfully, and like the running thread throughout the show, and how even the tower has position 0 on it in certain shots. And like, I don't know, I just, Tokyo Tower to me was pretty brilliant in how it was executed, and it's something that's going to make me remember. Tokyo Tower is in a lot of ways Hikari and Karen's stage, and I think that like in episode 4 and then again in episode 10 when they go to the playground, like their little stage, the little play stuff is right under Tokyo Tower as this like hugely overbearing figure. And I just think that's great. Like, and I think it's used masterfully, and I enjoyed everything about that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely.
The only symbolism I think that might appear more than Tokyo Tower is just the star symbol of the clip or whatever, Hikari's clip. That star is everywhere. For one, the spotlights usually look like it.
And the little purple lights, it was like, where's Waldo? Because it was in every single shot. So that was...
like the light of the tiara,
Yeah. So I thought that was really clever how they put that almost like in every single scene.
Okay, so we have one question left on the document, but I just got a question on Twitter like 10 minutes ago. So, last second here. Let's get to this one too. Abel Ton asks, which subtitle for Bakaren, Baka plus Karen, do you prefer? Untranslated, Bakaren, translated without wordplay, just stupid Karen, or translation with wordplay, Karen Nitwit, I think is what,
I think they're all bad, and I think a better one could have come up, like someone could have come up with a better one, but it should be translated. I don't think leaving it as Bakaren works.
Yeah.
But I also don't think Karen Nitwit works at all.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't at all.
Can anybody on the spot come up with a better one? Pressure's on. I don't think we have any resident pun experts here, so...
Find a word that ends like a word that means dumb or jerk. Like, I don't jerk Karen. That's not great either.
Didn't one of the subs use jerk Karen?
Maybe jerk Karen. I think would be the best one.
I thought one of the subs that we watched did do a wordplay translation of Bakaren.
It might have been Karen Nitwit.
Jerk Karen, it's kind of hard to say, is better than Karen Nitwit.
Yeah.
I like jerk Karen.
That one's the worst. Bakaren is... I don't think Bakaren's that bad.
I wouldn't want that as, like, what you choose to place in the subtitles, because, like...
No, exactly, yeah. Like, I wouldn't put it in the subtitles, but on its
I guess idiot
own...
Karen is decent utility. Yeah, let the pun speak on its own. Of the Japanese, you don't need to, like, get an English one if there isn't one that's, like, super good.
Right. I mean, and if you get it, you get it.
That's not good translation practice, but,
I mean, I guess I didn't think that the wordplay was wholly necessary in the first place.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like cute. Really it like makes Hikari seem like cute, like less stoic from the beginning.
That does.
It just comes at the first time you hear it. Just comes at a very funny point because it's right at the end of episode 1, I think, where like Karen is standing at position 0 and Hikari uses this pun.
I think like the subs don't need to do a ton there because most people are gonna get what's going on.
But that's bad translation practice. You need to think like most of the people watching, like that. There's going to be a significant number of people watching who it's their first anime. That's how you should always approach.
In that case, yeah, I guess that jerk cut-in is probably the best option.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Spooky OG says, I'm trying my damnedest to make my own, so just so someone else shares in the pain of having to decide on a bottom girl, could you give a top 9? So basically rank all of the girls.
Oh, okay. So like my time has come. I am very ready.
Go for it.
Okay, so at top, of course, top star, Miss Tendo Maya, obviously. Right after her is Claudine, the queen, Claudine. So Kudo Maya will always be together at the top. And then right after that, I have Kaoruko, because she's my favorite brat ever. And then right after that, because I have to be on brand with long-haired, black-haired girls, Kagura Hikari. I gotta stick to my brand because that's important. Ooh, okay, so after here, it gets kind of hard. So then there's Juna, and I'm not sure that I love her more than Hikari, but Juna's so good and important. Then after Juna, there is Mahiru, who absolutely deserved better. And then there is Futaba. It gets hard now. And then Banana. Although Banana had such a good character arc that I feel bad putting her low. She's so good. I love her. And then at the very end is our lovely protagonist, Bakaren. She's good though, but just, you know.
Okay. I've got Futaba at the top. She's
Agreed.
so cool and also so cute at the same time, as we went over. I think right beneath her I have to do Kaoruko, because like her like shit-faced willingness to cheat at everything is really, really good, and it bounces off of Futaba really well, and their whole, you know, relationship obviously is very strong. I'll give 3 to Nana. I think she has probably like the most compelling characterization in like her decision to shoulder like the whole burden. It's sort of selfish and selfless at the same time. Like, she wants the stage to continue on eternally, but she is also doing it to save everyone else from having their brilliance stolen by just resetting back to before that would occur. So it's a really interesting sort of confliction of motivations there for her. Number 4, Mahiru. She's really good. She's a good mom. I love her. Juna, number 5. A lot of this is her aesthetics. She's very strong. I like them. Also, yeah, obviously she's a solid, fun character. So what, we got number 6 now?
You haven't done Kuromaya yet.
I know.
How dare you.
I think like the strength of them lies in them as a pair enough that like it isn't in them as individual characters. So just ranking them individually, they'd be high ranked as like couple rankings, but just as standalone characters, they're not as elevated by that. I'll throw Claudine here at number whatever it is, 6, and then we'll do Hikari, because once again her like whole half measure sacrifice is very compelling. No, I'm gonna put Maya above Hikari, because Maya's very strong as well. Then Hikari, and of course, finally pulling up the rear, Aijo Karen, as is her rightful place at the bottom of the rankings.
I mean, okay, look, I like Karen a lot. She'll be at the bottom of mine too, as you'll see in just a second. However, look, this is blasphemous because I'm not like a hardcore Level Up fan. She's not the same character, but like I feel the way about her that I feel about Chika or Honoka. Like they exist to propel the other characters to do things, but they are not my favorite character by like any means.
Look, there's a reason that for every single review, Karen scored on the bottom. It's just her rightful place in the world.
Okay, I'm gonna start with Futaba at the top 2. However, I am immediately going Claudine as number 2. She's just so good. I love her. I love the way she's like jokey and friendly with the class, other than Maya, who she's like combative with, but also like, you know, really good with.
Did I put her at number 3?
Claudine? You put her fucking number 6.
Damn.
Yeah, you had to rate him at 6.
Yeah, you're really low.
Number 3 for me.
That's yourself, Lachlan.
Number 3 is also Nana. Number 4 is Kaoruko. 5, I'll put Maya. 6, Hikari. Ooh, wait, no. Back up a bunch. Mahiru 5, 6 Maya,
Jesus.
7 Hikari. Who am I missing? 8
Juna,
Junna,
9
and 9 Karen.
Yeah.
But I love all 9, so there's no
I love
slicing.
all
We're all in
8 of
agreement
them.
on. Got it.
I love them all myself as well, but I think for me, Claudine is like number 1. I just think that she, for me, and from my theatre background, is the most relatable. Sorry, it's now 1:30 and I'm sleeping. All right, let's see how I can get through this with massively blurry eyes. So yeah, Claudine number 1, and then as a real lover of the tsundere, has to be Hikari next.
Yes!
Oh, I love the tsundere so much. Best trope in anime.
Claudine
why we
is
love
the
Maki
ultimate
Sakura's.
tsundere.
Oh yeah. To be fair, she really
Claudine's
is.
so good. Claudine's-
So yeah, so you go Claudine, you
But
go
Hikari has the
Hikari,
aesthetic.
and then Tendo Maya, because I do genuinely love her character, and how she always, like you were saying earlier, Gaia, how she always just appears to be the top star no matter even if she loses. I think that her radiance kind of really shines, that obviously Hikari loses, but her radiance is beautiful. And then I'm going to put Futaba next, because we were talking about how strong she is, and I think her character is great and not really expanded on maybe as much as I wanted to, because I think she's a great character. Then Kaoruko, maybe because of their dynamic, that might be why I put her there. I'm not too sure, but like I really liked her. And then who have I got left? Juna, yeah, probably dump her down there. Why not? And then
Rip.
Nana, yeah, definitely. And then have I only got I always forget about Mahiro, even though I really liked episode 3 and I loved her.
Wow,
I
Mahiro.
always forget about her. Okay, I'm gonna put her.
Disrespect.
I know. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna put her, and then obviously we're gonna end with Karen. Poor Karen. I think she might be at the bottom of everyone's list.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah. All right. So I am actually going to go with Futaba number 1.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, upset.
I like
So
it.
I think that's 3.
I
out of
told
5
you you'd
there.
like her. Do you remember when I told you you'd like her?
I did, yeah, because I actually scored Futaba on that quiz, and that was before I started watching the show, and I had no idea. I was like, I don't know what this means. But I love characters that like have that sort of like supporter role. At least it seems that way, but then they try to like find themselves and like forge their own path. But she still like holds Kaoruko so close to her.
Yeah.
And just their relationship, but also like Futaba's strength on her own too, made her probably both the most relatable character for me and just my favorite, and one I would love to see more from. Number 2, I will say this is Tendo Maya.
Yeah.
Because she's awesome. 3, I will do the second half of the best ship in the series, going with Claudine.
Of course.
4, I'm gonna go with Banana and then Kaoruko. But I should stress that this top 5 is like splitting hairs for me. They're all awesome. All 9 are great, but like this top 5 in particular for me is the
It's like picking Love Life
Upper
girls.
echelon.
There's no wrong answer.
yeah. So then there's a little bit of a gap after Kaoruko, and we're gonna go with
Y'all sleeping on
Mahiru.
Juna, man. Juna, if you don't forget, Juna beat Hikari pretty much. Eventual top star.
Yeah, you told me that on Twitter, but I just had to point out that this is like
Hashtag
Hikari
never
at her
forget.
lowest point.
Never forget.
Okay, so then I'm gonna go with Mahiru at number, what is this, 6? Yeah, 6. Partly because the reason I put her above the other 3 is just because she was involved with some of the funniest moments in the series to me, so that gave her more value. Juna, 7, and then at the bottom our lead duo, Hikari in 8th, and 9th, Aijo Karen.
Oh, poor Karen.
5 for 5.
Massive thumbs down.
And we still love Karen, like
Yeah. Like, it's not to say that she's a
Yeah,
bad character.
I like Karen. I don't love
but
Karen.
just the others are so great.
Yeah, I feel like
Wouldn't
a
die
lot of the characters in this series are pretty unique because their sort of personalities are shaped by the circumstances that they're put in by the series, and Karen
Yeah.
is the one who's sort of shaped least uniquely by those. She's got her own personality for sure, and she's very endearing, and she's not sort of purely a copy-paste character, but she does have just a lot of that like Genki main girl stuff going on to her, and like less sort of separating her from typical archetypes than the other girls in the series, I think.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think that one of the strongest points of this show is that you have so many incredibly unique characters, not just in their personalities, but in the way that they interact with each other and their dynamics.
They
And
draw that uniqueness out of each other.
Exactly, yeah. And it creates, just between all 9 of them, it creates this really interesting group dynamic. And I think, Karen certainly plays an integral part in that. So the show kind of needed a character like Karen to guide it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, we have reached the end of all of our questions, and unless anyone has anything else to say, I think we're hitting the 2-hour mark just about. So
I've had a friend waiting for like half an hour. He's gonna kill me. Poor guy. I'm gonna buy him all the beer tonight. He stopped answering my text, so I think he's mad at me. So shout out to you.
Well, and Isla, it's got to be like what 1 a.m. for you.
Almost 2 a.m. Like
almost 2 a.m.
37.
There we go.
37. But it's fine, guys. It's fine.
Trooper.
And I actually
Do
have
it for the
nothing
reviews.
there. Well.
All right, so if you guys just want to plug your stuff and where people can find you, we'll go in alphabetical order again this time, and please,
I got you.
Get it right.
Got you. You can find me at Subtitled Anime on Twitter, also on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a video on Revue Starlight. When the OST comes out, I'm already writing it. The show is very, very special to me. It really, at a very stressful and difficult time in my life, it was something that I looked forward to every Saturday. And it was almost cathartic. And to experience it with a community that was so much fun, that it was honestly probably my happiest experience watching anime outside of Euphonium. So I'm very glad I got to do the show with my friends and watch my stuff. I got a Steins Gate video coming out this month, and I got a Starlight video coming out this month, and there's tons of UFO stuff on my channel. So I'm reviving the podcast. Subtitled Anime podcast is bringing it back. So we'll see who's on. Some surprises coming up. So check that out.
If I'm not one of the surprises, I'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
No, I was about to say the surprise is Zeria on every show.
I'm the new
I
co-host.
love that.
Yeah, unofficial.
I love that. It's me, right? If we're going alphabetically, it's
Yes, alphabetical.
yay. My name is Isla. You can find me at Isla McTear on YouTube and on Twitter and on just about everything else. I, like I said at the very beginning, I make kind of big, kind of emotional, very heavily edited videos on anime. My next one is also on Steins Gate, weirdly enough. So that should be a lot of fun. And yeah, I just really enjoy talking about anime. This year is like the first time that I've kind of decided to go in this direction and talk about anime online, and it's been really nice because I got to meet some really cool people, like the people I'm doing this podcast with. So it's pretty great, and I really enjoy doing it, and I really enjoy talking about anime. So come listen to my deep Scottish accent, which which is all right.
Good.
But yeah,
Killer.
Good.
thank you.
It's me, the Pedantic Romantic, on YouTube, the Pedantic Romantic. I'm doing a video every other day for this whole month, baby. Lots of fun.
Content machine.
Stop on by. I got a hour-long Wandering Sun video coming out at some point. We'll see when I can get that edited in between doing everything else.
Hopefully this month.
Yes, that's it.
You'll be in trouble if you don't get it done.
Oh
this
my
month.
god. See you.
Oh, yes. You can find me on Twitter as _Zeria_ and on YouTube as Zeria. If you want Yuri videos, come to me. If you want me to destroy the alt-right, come to me. If you want long videos, come to me. I'm the best AniTuber. Bye.
Mic drop.
I'm kind of tempted to just end it right there. No.
That would be the best way.
I am Jack Johnson. You can find me. My YouTube channel is Under the Scope, but you should probably already know that considering you're listening to this podcast here. And if you don't know, you can follow me on Twitter at JackUTS, where you will be bombarded with lots of UFO and Revue Starlight fan art retweets. Let's see. In terms of upcoming stuff, I just published my Making of Violet Evergarden video, so I'm kind of like
is awesome,
a little burnt
by the
out.
way, and you should all watch it.
Thank you.
It's bloody great.
Yes, I would greatly appreciate it.
Fantastic. One of the best YouTube videos this year.
Absolutely. without a doubt.
Thank you.
Let me say something that the people in this chat right now in this call are some of the best content producers anywhere on the internet. Like I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because I'm like y'all's friend. Like Jack legitimately does some of the most innovative, cool shit ever. Zeria and Lachlan are two of the fucking smartest people around, and the way that they express themselves visually and with words is incredible. And Isla's somebody.
Oh, you're so close. You're so close. You're so close. You can do it.
I discovered her this year because of the anthologies, and her videos are so emotionally beautiful, and the production value behind hers is some of the best I've seen anywhere. And like even I'm in sports casting, and the stuff that is professionally produced is not as good as the stuff that you produce. So like everyone here, like you guys kick ass, and if you're listening to this and you don't watch their stuff, go do that because it's very cool.
The love. There's so much
quality
love.
shit.
And back at you too.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
So other than that, I'm looking forward to all this Starlight content that's going to be coming out in the near future. It seems there's already a lot, but I know I'm planning a video on like the cinematography and stuff. And Johnny, you said you were doing one
on the tragedy that is Revue Starlight.
Yes.
Tragedy and Fate. Yuki Kajira song or my video? Find out.
All right, with that, dear listeners, I think that we have just about wrapped it all up. So thank you for listening. Thank you to all of my wonderful guests for coming here and spending 2 hours talking about this wonderful show with me. If we ever have another Revue Starlight, maybe we'll have to come back and do this again. But otherwise, thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye.
譲れない夢な